You're going live. I'll tell you when it's live. You're live.
And we're back! That's right. It is UFC 291 on the Matt Men YouTube channel. I thought I was taking all of July off, but the schedule and the fates have aligned, baby girls. Sweeties from all over the world. It is time for UFC 291 on the Matt Men YouTube channel and all other Matt Men related feeds. I'm Matt Ryan. No Stephanie Sotilli this week because she's got a huge opportunity this weekend, and we are giving her a much-deserved weekend off. And also joining us in my ear and yours, he's the producer, MG Geek. Hi, buddy.
Hello. What up, man? We're back.
How are you? I know, yeah. We took a brief hiatus because on July 8th I had Catalyst Wrestling, and you can see Catalyst Wrestling live at Chilo's Brooklyn on September 24th. Tickets available now at catalystwrestling.com. That's catalystwrestling.com. But yeah, we're back for UFC 291, another BMF title fight, MG, because, well, there's no other fucking title fight on this card. Because why
this is
would
kind
there
of a
be?
placeholder. Although I do get to see my boy Balls is hot. That makes my day.
Derrick, yeah, Derrick Lewis is on the main card. This card's pretty bananas when you look at it. Michael Chiesa will open things up against Kevin Holland. Tony Ferguson against Bobby Green. Then you have Marcos Rogerio de Lima taking on the aforementioned Derrick Lewis. And then we've got in our co-main event, if my papers would actually work with me, I did prep for this. The main event, obviously, the BMF title fight, but Jan Blachowicz taking on Alex Pereira in our co-main event, and then Gaethje versus Poirier. If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Matt Ryan. I'll be calling all the action for you here tonight, and I am excited for Poirier Gaethje. It's a fight that we saw in 2018, but we have not been able to call on this show in its many iterations, so it will be very fun to see what these guys do against each other tonight in the main event. Shout out to Stanley Franklin, Toker88, and Young Ed, longtime sweeties who are joining us here on the program tonight in the chat. And also you can give us a follow on social media at Matt Men Podcast. And you can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ryan Yells. That is MattryanYells. Taking a look at this card tonight, and every fight is also pretty fun. Shout out to Steven Caroso. Good to have you back. Let's get this party started. Who brought the onion dip? That is a good question. Did you bring snacks, MG? Because if you didn't bring snacks, we're going to have words.
I have snacks. It may not be the snacks you're looking for, but I have.
Are you sharing with everyone? Did you bring enough for
the problem? No, I'm sorry.
You
I'm a bad host.
And shout out to Faux Sushi in the chat. We got people matriculating on in tonight. There's not really a bad fight tonight on this card in terms of people that we've known or people that we've seen on the show. Obviously, Kevin Holland, Michael Chiesa, we've seen them face off, but Chiesa walking into this loser of his last two, and Kevin Holland, last seen in April, knocking out Santiago Ponzinibbio in Miami. And prior to that were two stoppage losses, though, the Khamzat Chimaev and Stephen Thompson. So it will be interesting to see how those two guys face off here tonight in the opening fight of the card. And let us know what time you think the opening fight will make its walk to the octagon. Usually we have a nice little under-over game. Started a little late tonight, but we're experimenting with some things. We're trying some new times, trying some interesting shifts here with the show. Steph will be joining us again in August for UFC 292 and the remaining shows for the year. But it will be interesting to see Michael Chiesa make his way back to the octagon. Kevin Holland, a former second-degree black belt in Kung Fu. I love seeing that. I love seeing guys who have Kung Fu in their history as one of their things, because we have BJJ, we have wrestling, we have all these different styles of fighting now. But when you see the Kung Fu in 2023, and you think back to the opening years of the UFC, the 30th anniversary coming up this November. Hopefully I'll be able to get David Isaacs, a friend of mine and co-founder of the UFC, and possibly even Campbell McLaren from Combate Global to talk about the early days of the UFC and the origins of guys like Art Jimerson or Royce Gracie or even Ken Shamrock, the bedrocks of the UFC. And you know what? Let's ask in the chat, who is your favorite old school original UFC fighter? Who is that original first generation pre-Zuffa UFC fighter that when you think of the early days of the UFC, you think of that one specific fighter? Obviously, Royce Gracie. Obviously, Ken Shamrock. You could throw Dan Severn in there. Tank Abbott.
That would be mine.
Who is that guy for you? Stephen Caruso. Yeah, we've had this new studio for a little bit. This is our second or third show here in the closet, a.k.a. my office. But young Ed, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, who's bringing the snacks? It's a great question. If you're bringing snacks in the chat, or if you want to donate to the Give Matt Snacks Fund, you can donate to the Super Chat. How do you do that? You see the little $ in the chat. You hit that. You donate some money. We'll shout you out, and I can buy more sandwiches. Because obviously I need more sandwiches.
Fantastic.
Fantastic indeed, Matt. Fantastic indeed. We're looking at the Chuck Liddell. That's too late. That's the Zuffa era. I'm thinking pre-purchase, pre-Dana White, PDW, which just also sounds like a place where you get either your tires changed or you buy some fancy belts. I can't discern between it. You know who was in the original UFC, MG? Ludwig fucking Borga.
Yes, I did remember
Tony
that.
Holm.
Wasn't the concept, the original concept was all these different fighters from different styles, and they had to pick one. They made sure to have a wrestler, a martial
It was a
artist.
variety of styles.
Yeah. They wanted
and
all
it kind of got pared down and
yeah, it did. Wasn't there one guy that was like 600 pounds or something? And
Taylor Tooley, the sumo wrestler.
Yeah. Okay.
Kevin Holland making his walk to the octagon.
Of course, it's changed much now. That would never fly today, but
no, they wouldn't allow that shit in Utah, where they're having UFC 291 tonight. Ain't no way that they're allowing any of that. The fact that they're having a fight for the baddest motherfucker title in Salt Lake City. I want to know, when they went to the Athletic Commission, the Utah Athletic Commission, who I just think is just a collection of Romneys. I don't know if they're related to Mitt, but I feel like their last name is, in fact, Romney. And explaining the lineage and the ideology and the etymology of the baddest motherfucker belt, which will be presented by Jorge Masvidal, the original holder of said title. Whether or not that makes sense, is that a step down from Dwayne, though? Because Dwayne was the original presenter of the BMF belt all the way back in the pre-COVID days in 2019. So it went from Madison Square Garden, Diaz and Masvidal, like, presented by The Rock. One of the cooler things, the belt's kind of whack. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Into a fight between Gaethje and Poirier, two great fighters, two bad motherfuckers, but fighting in the whitest place in the union, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, man.
And it seems like this card has been a good time so far. I've been busy tonight with work things, which is one of the reasons why we started late tonight. Your boy has responsibilities, which I know sucks, but it keeps. I can tell you,
I kept up on the prelims a little bit. If you want to run, I can give you some insight there. It looks like most of the fights in the prelims ended in finishes. There was a lot of finishes, a lot of quick fights. So I don't know if that'll carry through, but we'll see.
Well, I personally hope so, because I want to have an exciting card. And here comes Michael Chiesa just power walking to the octagon, just tracksuited the fuck up, just not waiting for anything, ready to fight. The Aurora, Colorado native, the hometown of Miami Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel and Dan Soger. Fun fact. Shout out to the guy in the first row who looks like a bush and standing next to the guy who looks like little Carmine from The Sopranos. This is the engaging insight and coverage you get on this channel. It's a wonder no major MMA outfit has picked up this show. It's a wonder to me. Stephen Kelleher in the chat, long time. Glad to have you, my friend. Chiesa having a little bit of trouble with the shirt, but he gets it off. Let us know your predictions down in the chat, who you think will be walking out with the victory in our opening contest, Michael Chiesa or Kevin Holland. If you're just joining us, I'm Matt Ryan. It says my name in the title of the video. That's not egotistical. It's just so people might think the guy from the CBS NFL coverage is doing this. Chiesa, former winner of the Ultimate Fighter in Season 15, highest takedown accuracy in welterweight division history at 77.8. And he walks into tonight 18-6. He's won 11 of his fights by submission. Plus 350 for him to win by submission. Plus 330 for him to win by decision. And plus 140 if Kevin Holland wins by knockout or TKO. Those are some props to watch, presented to you by DraftKings. They sponsor them, not us, but we would like some of their money. And if you would like to give us money, head on down to the Super Chat right now and donate some cash to the cause, which will be me buying a sandwich. And Derek Spino and Stephen Kelleher both picking Kevin Holland. Not bad picks here in the early going. Y'all know the rules of the UFC, but it's time for the tail of the tape. Holland 30, Chiesa 35. They cut away from the graphic for some reason and bring it back in. Holland with the height and reach advantage, 6'3" and 81-inch reach to 6'1" and 75.5 from Chiesa, and it's 169.5 pounds from Kevin Holland. Nice, and 170 flat for the underdog, Chiesa. Chiesa, a plus 125 underdog. And good Lord, what Abuelita's couch did Bruce Buffer jack that coat from? I have questions. I want committee hearings. If we can do the thing with crack smoking guy, we could do that with Bruce Buffer's jackets. That's just my opinion as an American. Stephen, seems like Holland across the board in the predictions here so far tonight. But let us know in the chat throughout the fight. Do you think this fight will go all 3 rounds? Stephen Kelleher with Straight Cash Homie in the chat. Yes, Stanley Franklin. Holland did get beaten by Khamzat Chimaev, a.k.a. Smish. It is packed in the rafters inside the Delta Center, or whatever it's the Delta Center, the home of the Utah Jazz, which is the most ironic name in sports.
Yeah.
Young Ed with a great stat here. He's our stats and info here on the program. Chiesa has not fought in 661 days. Stephen Kelleher saying that's a Caesar Hotel carpet coat. That does remind me of a very seedy hotel you would go to sleep with your secretary with shag carpeting. Not speaking from experience, but I live in New York. And Chiesa getting gassed up, his first fight in over 660 days. He's 4-3, though, as a UFC underdog. Being above 500 as an underdog, to me, is a pretty solid sign. And it just looks like now he is just yelling and accusing him. I have the TV on mute because we don't want to get copyright struck. And it just looks like Bruce Buffer is walking up and straight shit-talking Michael Chiesa or amping him up. I want to know in the chat, is Mark Goddard your referee? Is that an unfair advantage? Is that like the Inoki slap? Is he giving people fighting spirit? MG, put it on the poll. Is Bruce Buffer yelling at a fighter actually giving them fighting spirit?
Okay, let's see what I can do.
You know how the chat works. Round 1 inside the octagon. We back, motherfuckers.
Fair.
Chiesa and Holland standing down in the center of the octagon, Holland controlling. Someone placed $15,000 on Kevin Holland's money line at minus 145. That coming in from the Twitter machine. Chiesa controlling the outside of the octagon, trying to bait Holland to him. Nearly 35 seconds gone by, or nearly 25 seconds gone by, pardon me, in round number 1 of 3 in the welterweight division. Uppercut, Holland steps inside, evaded by Chiesa. Holland steps inside with uppercut, swinging away. Chiesa in trouble, covering up that fighting spirit bar, diminishing by the second. He finds a way out of it, but he is moving laterally around the edge of the octagon, trying to avoid the strikes from Holland. Holland steps inside again, and Chiesa sent down to the floor, and now Kevin Holland teeing off with shots to the ribs. Could have pulled the guillotine, and now Chiesa trying to pull in Kevin Holland. His knees pressed up into the midsection of Holland, his feet underneath the testicles of the California native. Chiesa trying to lock on, but Holland will slip out. Now trying to get inside control. Both men back up standing. Chiesa lands a couple of uppercuts, and we roll on. 343. Holland steps inside. He gets evaded by Chiesa. Chiesa landing a strike of his own as they will continue to dance towards the center of the octagon with 3.5 minutes remaining in round number 1. Both men back in the center of the octagon. Chiesa following Holland. Steps inside Holland. Chiesa on the switch. Single leg attempt by Chiesa trying to take down Holland. Holland remaining vertical. Chiesa now pressing Holland up against the fence of the octagon. 3:05 left to go in round number 1 as they will dance around the center of the octagon. Now pressed up against the corner is Chiesa. Punch to the ribs, and it looks like Chiesa was trying to scoop underneath, try to go for a slam of some sort. Now trying to double underhook, go for a double leg takedown, pardon me. Did Chiesa, Holland blasting him away with a left hand. Jumping knee catches Chiesa, but they will back away. Holland not able to follow up on it. Left hand followed up by a forearm by Chiesa. Strikes heavy here, another knee. Chiesa tries to go down and take Holland with him, but both men down. As Holland holding on to the arm and neck. Chiesa tries to roll through, trying to lock in a submission as Michael Chiesa, and it's all over. Locking in a variation of a guillotine or some sort of dragon sleeper-like choke. Kevin Holland getting the first round submission. Chiesa sent back to the sent for his third straight loss, getting the stop here in round number 1. What a move there by Kevin Holland, dapping up everybody, including John Anik, Joe Rogan, and Daniel Cormier, and Megan O'Leary for good measure. Virginia Valley joining us in the chat from Los Angeles. Shout out to Toker88. Raiden Thacker in the chat. And if you're just joining us, Kevin Holland finished off Michael Chiesa early in round 1. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining in the round. Holland got him early and kept the pressure on until nothing but Chiesa could do but tap out from that submission. We'll see again on the replay. Chiesa was game, but here comes a flying knee that set up the takedown. Caught him right in the nose. Chiesa tried to come out of that with a double leg, sprawled by Holland, and we'll see the knee again on the replay, catching Chiesa right in the mouth.
He got him
and getting
good.
The stoppage. Yeah, he caught him. And he got it through the arm, too. Chiesa kept his left arm up, but Holland's follow-through got the arm moving up with him and then setting up for that choke that kind of looks like a cravat if you watch pro wrestling. He got underneath the arm and the neck, and it wasn't like a traditional guillotine, but it got the job done for Kevin Holland to get the win.
I think they call it a
tonight.
cravat in jiu-jitsu, don't they?
I believe so. I'm just going off of what I know, baby.
All right, fair enough. And you know a lot.
And Michael Chiesa taking the gloves off. This might be the end of the road for the veteran, and not really the way you would want to end a career. Last time we were with you, Amanda Nunes hung them up after the win, if I'm remembering that correctly. Matt, am I right about that?
You are correct. Yes, you are correct. It's been a minute.
And Kevin Holland getting the win by submission. The Trailblazer. And Holland will be interviewed by Joe Rogan. Raiden Thacker asking if I'm losing weight. I've been trying to take better care of myself. My shirts fit better. I was in Arizona last week, MG.
Oh yeah, I thought it was gonna be Vegas. Thought that was.
We flew into Vegas and we ended up in Arizona. The game was in Arizona. I was out there for the A7FL Championship in Bullhead City, Arizona, where the temperatures were 125 degrees. And if you want to watch me run 2 40-yard dashes, you can go to a7fl.tv or the A7FL YouTube channel to watch my other show, the 3-on-1 podcast. We did a live edition from Bullhead City last week, and I beat a man in a race twice. He fell the second time. He fell, and it was kind of – I didn't know he fell until after the fact. Yeah, nah. Go me. I made a man who was 5'4" fall in a race. That gives me confidence.
Dude, if you don't run all the time, people, especially if you're a little bit older, that can be hard.
Oh, my kneecap dislocated on the first run. My knee popped. I had someone pop my knee back in so I can win the second race.
Raiden wants to know how your league is doing.
Our league is doing great. We just had a great championship game. I think it's the best spring football game that's ever been played. Best spring football championship game that was ever played. The final score is 50-46. Mike Tice was there. I interviewed Mike Tice of all people. And it was the most fun I've ever had broadcasting football, despite the fact that I was also producing the weekend. So I was having a breakdown.
Oh, kind of like me every time I do one of these.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you love exciting football and you love me announcing things, go on over to the A7FL and give them support, because it keeps me able to do stuff like this and not do college announcing on Saturday nights in gyms in various places across New York City. And Mark Ingram, former Alabama running back and former New Orleans Saint in the house. Macy Barber, looking like she fits in Utah. Bilal Muhammad in the house, former top contender in the UFC. Rashad Evans.
Gets the big cheer.
Uriah Faber also there. And next up, Tony Ferguson. Actually, Raiden will be on BN Sports for the replay, the entirety of 2023 with re-airs of our broadcast. We'll hopefully have some big news about 2024 coming soon, along with our friends over at caffeine.tv. And there you see a toilet on UFC pay-per-view. Great shot coverage there. And
you got to get all the angles, man.
Getting you all the angles inside these locker rooms. I wonder how they dole out locker room assignments. I know they do it by corner, but who gets the nice Utah Jazz locker room? Who gets the room where Rudy Gobert has a sandwich? That's my question, or had a sandwich. Stephen Kelleher asking a question: is Tony Ferguson retired tonight? I kind of hope, not in a negative sense, but I feel like a lot of us are Tony Ferguson fans, and a lot of the stuff you see about him, especially following what happened prior to the Khabib fight, it's been a motherfucker. It hurts to see what's happened to Ferguson. He's lost his last 5 fights. His last win was in 2019 against Donald Cerrone. That ain't great. That's not – you don't want that from – I would consider him to be a legend of this era. I don't know who would be a favorable comp to Tony Ferguson, but he feels like a guy that never got what it felt like he deserved as an athlete and as a talent, because of injuries, because of health concerns, because of, sometimes him getting in his own way. And it sucks when you're a fan of a fighter or a personality, and those are the things that happen. Because you wish the best for anybody who steps inside that cage, because fuck Lord knows I wouldn't do it. And Stephen Kelleher making a great point. Never the same after fighting Gaethje. And Stanley Franklin saying Chandler's front kick has him thinking he's in his prime, or at least Ferguson thinks he does. There's a lot of Dana White Contender Series fights coming up. And we are about 4 months or so into this merger, MG, the UFC
the
WWE
announcement of it.
advance.
It's not. So from what I understand, it won't go official until that fourth quarter of the fiscal year. So it's going to be October or later when we get news on actually signing the deal. It could still get all blown up for all we know, but right now I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere between October and January before we know for sure. Mm-hmm.
It will be interesting to see how that plays out. Do you think that there will be any incremental effects, or do you think that this lead up is pretty much business as usual and how it will operate as Cyborg Vince figures out what he does next?
I think they will keep it. It will stay normal for the most part. Here's something I don't know. So we didn't do of all the times not to do one of these. I don't know if you caught the end of what fight was it? At the end of the pay-per-view last month, there was a lot of WWE stuff that happened. There was a rush into the ring. I forget who it was now. So the chat will remind me.
It was Israel Adesanya.
Yes, came in and like called him out after the match. Like almost, that's very WWE. It's just things like that I noticed, and they were doing that felt more like there was things influenced more by wrestling. I don't know if the fighters.
There's always been that element
of
it in MMA. Like we've had guys come in and confront. That goes back to boxing, and for every Strikeforce Nashville riot, there's moments like that kind of set things up. We saw that with Brock Lesnar and Cormier.
Yep.
A couple of years back.
John Jones too did it. Called out Lesnar in the ring. So there's, I don't know if he actually got him in the ring. Cormier got him in the ring. But yeah. So, but I just noticed that
Jones calling out Stipe too.
I just noticed that maybe they're being enticed. Well, dude, if we're gonna be owned by a wrestling or part of a wrestling company, maybe we can start doing. Well, maybe we should start doing more of that. Trying to do it that way.
I do love a scenario where it's like, Dana, you better have a good angle to end this fucking show. Who's on this card? How do you spell that?
Yes, that's gonna be.
Do I have to go there and do it myself? Is it gonna be McMahon White inside the goddamn octagon? I'll go get the robot surgery right now. I'll do it, and I'll beat your bald ass from here to San Antonio and back. What's that? Oh, never mind. Good idea. All right. Well, it's Vince. Give me a call. Have a good weekend. I do feel like that's how
at night coming up with those scenarios, don't you?
Look, a man has to have his hobbies.
Yes. Okay. Fair. I'm all for it, man.
Just Vince McMahon watching UFC 1. I just wish I was in the. If that happened, God damn,
I'm sure
that's a big boy.
But I'm sure someone showed him it after. Mm.
What a fucking Bruce, do you see this? He's got one glove on. Was that one of your fucking ideas? God damn, pal. Shout out to Stephen Kelleher donating $5 to the cause. As Max Scherzer gets traded from the Mets because I can't have anything nice.
I was gonna ask you about that, but I was waiting for later.
Depression.
Max will
also
do what Max is
on.
good for Max.
Look,
all right.
I missed last year so much, and Bobby Green is now inside the octagon. But shout out to the straight cash homie from the buddy Steven Keller.
Virginia did confirm what I thought, that Jones didn't get Lesnar in, just said his piece and mic drop.
I really wonder what would have happened if that fight happened. Like, it conceivably can happen now. And I'm hearing things.
Well, I'm hearing things too. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing UFC 300.
Yep, we're hearing the same thing.
Surprised. You know, yeah, hear things from people. I'm what you would call kind of like the Zelig of combat sports.
Right.
Because I end up in situations and around people where, like, things happen. Like, I've interviewed Anthony Joshua. I've seen him get knocked out inside Madison Square Garden. I've interviewed Daniel Cormier. I was at the Conor McGregor-Khabib press conference that didn't have a riot. And Derrick Spino asking Jets or Giants. Let's go Giants. Steph is off this week because she is doing something very awesome this weekend and needs to be up early, so she cannot hang out with us until the ungodly hours of the morning. But she, much like me, missed all of you. Well, some of you, like five of y'all. And will be joining us next month for UFC 292. So it's just me and Matt on tonight's show. We might have more people on in the future. I don't know. We barely have enough room for me in frame. And if you think we're adding more cameras, you overestimate how much people want to spend money on me. But I am Matt Ryan. MG Geek is in my ear and yours. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage tonight. Tony Ferguson getting greased down by the Cutman. Tied for 5th most submissions in UFC lightweight history with 6. Tied for 4th most finishes in the division's history with 10. So 4 of those by way of knockout or TKO. And the former interim UFC lightweight champion. I wonder, do you consider an interim champion a real world champion? We saw that play out tonight on Turner Network Television on another program. And I wonder how you guys view interim championships. Is it based on the situation? Is it based on the actual fighter? Is it based on just an overall philosophy when it comes to titles? I know we all come to this from different angles, so I'd love to know your thoughts in the chat. And also, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Tony Ferguson walking into tonight, 39, 5'11", and 155 pounds. Bobby Green, 1 inch shorter, a half-pound heavier and 3 years younger, 36, 5'10", and 155.5 pounds. But Ferguson has a huge reach advantage of 5.5 inches, 76.5 to 71. And young Ed, I like all the fighters tonight except Poirier. Why do you not like? What's wrong with the hot sauce man? He fights and he gives to charity. What is problematic about that? What makes him an asshole?
That's kind of hard to defend in that stance, isn't it?
Also, Bobby Green is a minus 360 favorite. That's fuck. You don't think that would happen with Tony Ferguson? He's a plus 295 underdog. That is so weird. He's lost his last 5 fights, but it's still Tony Ferguson's Tony Ferguson. And you kind of feel like you have to give him respect. But with the last 5 fights, him being plus 265 may actually be a bit of a blessing. As opposed, I think any other fighter is in that plus 300, maybe plus 400 territory. And Stephen Keller, I believe you're correct. And Dan Margaliata is the referee, looking like someone who is at a local sheriff's pancake breakfast with that polo shirt. And it will be Ferguson and Bobby Green in our second fight of the main card. Henan Barao. Wow, Bill Elder going into the bag. Shout out Chael P. Son and the true champion. Ferguson lifting up his left leg, feigning a front kick, switches his stance back to lead with his right leg. Bobby Green steps inside with a combination, lands maybe 1 or 2 fleeing blows. as Ferguson backed away, and Ferguson barely avoids a left hand to the temple. Ferguson keeping the pressure. He's got that electric football energy. 30 seconds gone by. In round number 1, Savate kick by Green does not land cleanly onto the midsection of Ferguson. Stepping inside is Green with a right hand. He catches Ferguson with a stray left uppercut. 4:17 left to go in round number 1. Stepping inside was Ferguson, avoiding a shot from Green, but eating a left uppercut. Green trying to keep up with the frenetic energy of Ferguson, and Ferguson will try to go for the takedown. He goes on the back of Bobby Green, now trying to grapevine the leg of Green and try to backpack him. Ferguson coming out as the aggressor here, might have caught Green on his back foot metaphorically, as Green finds a way to fight out and knees Ferguson and lands a left hand as they try to get back to the center of the octagon. 3:41 left to go in round number 1 of 3 in the lightweight division. Ferguson steps inside and then pulls back. Left hand by Green. Fleeting left. Ooh, shot to the body and then a right hand by Ferguson. Kick and ooh. Body kicks by Green, followed up by left hands by Ferguson to the jaw. Green avoiding Ferguson stepping in, landing a combination. Ferguson missing with another fleeing left hand. Circling around the octagon as both fighters. Kick avoided by Bobby Green. Left hand by Green, and Ferguson will try to peel in, and Green will peel back. Trying to circle around. Oh, feigns the leg kick. Stepping inside is Ferguson. Left hand ducks under. 244. Green, another body kick attempt. Ferguson, both of these guys looking to gas a little early here, Matt. Knee kick, and then steps inside Bobby Green with the left combination. Going for that uppercut and then an overhand left and right, respectively. Green goes down after a shot from Ferguson. It looks like he might have injured his knee or his ankle. He planted hard, and he was limping a bit.
Oh.
Now Ferguson's
doing those leg kicks. He was really trying to establish those leg kicks.
And Ferguson trying to land another leg kick, and it looks like we've got our first eye poke of the main card. And Ferguson, winning this round so far, got inside Bobby Green's kitchen and kept the momentum moving early, keeping Green on his back foot and trying to maintain a pace. As we see here, ooh, the glove strike again, trying to pie face Ferguson, but caught him in the eye. And Ferguson selling it after the fact, but it did get him right in the eyeball. And they'll be checked out by the officials and the doctor as we are 28 seconds into this official timeout. Doctor weirdly looking like David Isaacs, co-founder of the UFC. Ferguson getting his eye checked by the doctor. Do hope this test is not the same test they give if somebody has a concussion. Ferguson saying he's good to go. And it looks like Ferguson's bleeding from the nose somehow, even though no one but the doctor has touched him in the last 30 seconds. How the hell did that shit happen? Did he just manifest?
He like waved his finger and somehow had like a laser on it or something. I don't know.
Did he nick himself with a fingernail? And they'll check his eye again. They're going to clean the blood off of Ferguson as the doctor's in there. Stanley Franklin saying, so last pay-per-view I ventured about and the grass is not greener out there. Matt is king. Oh, that's kind of you. Let other people know in those chats, especially ones by former websites I may or may not have worked for who may need to know what time it is. Overhand left by Ferguson. I love those guys, though. Good for them building that back up. 2 minutes now. Also, support the writers. Support the writers. Oh, head kick attempt by Bobby Green. Does not land, but almost capoeira'd Ferguson's head off. Kick to the knee and a punch to the back. Right hand by Green. Steps inside. Ferguson avoids the left hand by throwing a right over the top. 140 left to go. Straight left thrown by Green. Trying to keep the pressure on. Left hand from Bobby Green. Trying to find the rhythm and the momentum. Push kick by Ferguson evaded by Green. Minute 25 left to go in the longest first round of the night, literally and metaphorically, due to the stoppage and the fact that we are near the 1 minute mark, as our first fight of the night ended with a Kevin Holland choke on Michael Chiesa. Ferguson stands and throws a right hand, and Green gets the point of the jaw of Ferguson, but Ferguson no-sells it and then lands an elbow to the ribs as Green tries to land a body kick. Head kick by Ferguson missed. 55 seconds left to go in the round. Left-right combination missed by Green over the top right hand. Ferguson follows through and avoids a shot by Green. Savate kick by Green to the midsection. 46 seconds left to go in round number 1. Evading another shot is Ferguson. Ferguson throwing that jab with the right hand, leading again with the left, alternating his stance as the former interim champion. 30 seconds and under now in our first round. Green eats a hell of a shot from Ferguson. Ferguson lands a left hand, eats a left hand on the side of the head. Left-right combination by Green. Ferguson now on his bicycle trying to dance around. 11 seconds left to go in round number 1. And a flurry of blows from Green, not landing any of all of them, but he gets a left to the jaw that rattles Ferguson. Ooh. And we will go to the end of round number 1 with both of these guys standing and trading, and Ferguson favoring that right eye that got poked by Green. He is blinking very hard. Not necessarily great for the former interim champion, who you could argue won this round. I think that was a bit of a toss-up round. I'd have to look at the stats to make a clear determination, but Ferguson got the jump early. And a shout-out to Young Ed, Bill Elder, Toker88, Stephen Kelleher, Sharon Merritt saying, Matt, you are the best. Oh, they heart me. I heart you guys too. Y'all are sweeties. Well, let's take a look at these stats here. Ferguson landing 15 of 49 strikes. Green landing 34 of 50. All of those strikes landed by Ferguson were signature strikes. Same thing from Green. And in terms of takedowns, 0 for 1 from Ferguson, and he's only got 13 seconds of ground control. But Bobby Green has none. And right now, looking at the stats, 10-9 for Bobby Green, even though Ferguson putting in one hell of an effort in round 1. But looking at those stats, you kind of get demystified by the pace that Ferguson set early in round 1 as round number 2 kicks off here inside the Delta Center of high axe kick Booker T-esque by Bobby Green.
Nice.
Left hand followed up by a right by Bobby Green. Green with a flurry of shots. Ferguson barely evading them. 434, another left-right combination from Green. Ferguson trying to keep pace. Left hand landed by the Green, barely under. Ferguson coming with a heavy shot. As time winding down here in the second round. Right hand again, another one landed by Green. Ferguson trying to evade the pressure of Bobby Green. Trying to utilize the push kick did Ferguson. Under 4 minutes now left to go in round number 2.
Robbie Fox, friend of the channel, getting some love on the
Ferguson trying to get the takedown here. Shout out to Robbie Fox. But Ferguson now trying to scramble on the ground. Green on top of him, possibly trying to get him in the Utah position here inside the Delta Center. Having a technical difficulty on my end as buffering seems to be going on. I have to readjust my machine, but Green in control here in round number 2 and kind of picking up where he left off in the opening round. Even though it felt like Tony Ferguson kept the pace going, it certainly has been Bobby Green setting the standard in this fight and controlling the tempo as we enter midway point of the second round. Matt Ryan here on the Matt Men YouTube channel, joined by MG Geek. If you are joining us for the first time, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you like the coverage and you want to give us a little money because you're sweet and you want to be a sweetie, you can hit the donation button, the super chat button, and donate some money to the cause. On top of that, if you want to donate directly and you want to get stuff from me every once in a while, go to patreon.com/Dan A. White. That's patreon.com/Dan A. White. And my ESPN Plus not working effectively, which is always fun on pay-per-view night. Feels like on a date and you get the blue chew, and it ain't blue chewing. The Raiden Thacker, the Utah position, and the the Luther Campbell position are very different. Luther Campbell is face down, ass up. The Utah position is when they have the mount and they are trying to posture up, but the legs are akimbo. You can take it from there. So that's the only thing you could do in that part of the world where it's, I believe, legal. Not necessarily sure because I'm not up to date on my Utah statutes, but you could you make a guess and you take a chance. Hopefully we'll have something resembling a feed in a moment.
Oh. Just let him up. That was interesting.
Well, can you tell me what's going on the television since you can see it and I can't?
Green just let Ferguson back up, which I thought was interesting.
That's a very interesting choice there.
I goes, did he stand him up? No, he just backed off and got up. Come on, let's do this stand up. You still buffering?
I'm Bruce buffering right now. I'm switching over to my computer to watch this. So please keep talking, Matt. Please keep talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Someone must be talking.
Green's jabbing. Talking. Green's jabbing.
And that will be, and it looks like and it seems like this one will go into round number 3.
Yes.
As Ferguson came back in the later rounds and caught Green a few times, but Green getting the clubber in on him as well, as it will move on here into the 3rd round in Utah. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside MG Geek, and we apologize for the technical difficulties.
A little flurry for Ferguson right at the end there.
Also, Slam Ball is on ESPN Plus now, and I was shocked to see that Slam Ball is back. Also, how the fuck do I not have a job calling Slam Ball? How does that not happen?
Maybe
I need an agent.
Yeah,
let those fuckers at Slam Ball know what's up. Do I have to call Hugh P. Slam Ball of the Hudson Valley Slam Balls?
I'm sure Dana has room for you in the power slap.
The amount of things I'd rather do than be on fucking power slap.
Watching people blatantly concuss themselves for the hell of it.
Round 3, we are 9 seconds in. Ferguson gets a tab to the right. Oh, and Ferguson gets his ankle caught and he gets dropped. He gets Owen Hart enziguri ribbed and then gets a right hand for his troubles and socked on the jaw by Bobby Green. First fight of the main card to go to the 3rd round. Tony Ferguson proving his durability here with 4.5 minutes remaining in the final round. Green trying to pass by. 4:21. Not necessarily a blazing moment. As we are in our 2nd fight of the night. Tony Ferguson on the 2nd fight of the card. Bobby Green losing some grip on the canvas. Punches to the midsection overhand right. That looked like it caught Ferguson on the ear. And he is not selling for anything. Ferguson bleeding from the nose, his face showing the wounds of war inside the octagon, a worn face from battle, looking to hold on at least one more time to get the victory, throws a right into the face of Bobby Green. has to walk off here. 3:44 left to go. Left uppercut by Green, punch to the midsection, followed up by a combo, but Ferguson evades and then trots right back to the center to take on the Californian. Ferguson now trying to set the pace the way he did in the early going. But what can be done with 3:29 and counting here in the third round? Trying to make something happen. Both been standing in the center of the octagon. Right hand thrown by Ferguson. Another right-left combination, straight left thrown by Bobby Green. Hit to the midsection. Both men exchanging blows. Green with a left-right-left combination and lands one right more on the point of the jaw. Another shot to the point of the jaw of Bobby Green. Pardon me. Trying to dance around here with 2:27 left to play. But left to fight. Been doing football for too long. Ferguson continuing to get swatted by the left hand of Bobby Green. That one, a right hand to the temple of Tony Ferguson. 2:10 left to go in the final round. Green taking a shot to the body. He is shaking those off, continuing, spamming those body kicks as Ferguson. Just trying to find a weak point, trying to weaken the knee or the calf or even the shin of Bobby Green. We saw Green not limping a little bit earlier on in the fight. Will Ferguson try to spam those leg kicks again and try to dead leg? Bobby Green, head kick attempt by Ferguson, but he slips and lands up on his back. Green allowing him back up with 98 seconds left to go in the fight. Left-right combination again to the face by Bobby Green. 92 seconds now left to go in the fight. Right hand by Ferguson. That will land, but Green will run right past it. Time winding down here. Minute 25 left-right combination. Ferguson's nose is full of strawberry jam. It is leaking from the bridge of the nose all the way down, cascading down the face of Tony Ferguson. Spinning back elbow gets him a left-right combination for his troubles. The former interim champion in trouble here. 1:04 left to go in the fight. Bobby Green pressured up near the fence by Ferguson in terms of significant strikes. 34-15, 47-14, 42-14 in this fight. All for Bobby Green. He is outstriking him almost 3-1 in this fight. Now Green almost getting caught in a head scissors by Ferguson. Ferguson on his back, eating hammer fists with 40 seconds left to go. Tony Ferguson will not go gently into the good night. He will not be denied. He is trying to avoid being submitted here in the last 31 seconds. Can Bobby Green get the submission? He is trying to go for an anaconda choke onto Tony Ferguson. Ferguson in trouble on his back, trying to hold up for 20 seconds. Ferguson being slowly choked out by Bobby Green. Mergliata checking. Can Tony Ferguson fight and survive to see the scorecards? He does not want to go out submitting. He is out. Tony Ferguson has passed out into the choke of Bobby Green with under 10 seconds left to go. Bobby Green chokes out Tony Ferguson. Holy shit.
What a finish. Wow.
Tony Ferguson did not want to tap out. He did not want to submit. He did not want to go away. And then Dan Mergliata doing the right thing, doing the smart thing, doing the fucking humane thing and stopping that fight. Because every second at that point, Ferguson flopped. And every second after that could have been bad.
Oh. You know what I think he was worried about? I think he was worried about him choking on his own blood and that, the way because he was bleeding right back into his mouth.
It was not a fun time. It was not a fun scene. I am going to fuck up my camera shot first and foremost. Am I back now? Am I good now?
You are.
All right. So I solved the problem, but I need to plug in my computer to my television so I can actually see the chat and shit. Taking a look at the replay here of this fight, and Dan Mergliata did the right thing. He did the right thing by every stretch of the imagination getting that stoppage.
Oh, yeah.
There was nothing left.
And he can't necessarily know that there's 6 seconds left or whatever it was. Or I wouldn't expect him to make that a situation.
Not in the slightest. I'm going to step off camera for just 1 second, gang. Hey, Matt, what's coming up this week on Batman?
What's coming up on Matman this week? Well, funny you should mention that. We're gonna have some special stuff because myself and Suncast, the other producer, are going to be live at SummerSlam. So,
wait, is SummerSlam next Saturday?
It's next Saturday night, yeah.
Holy shit!
So we will be at Ford Field in Detroit. We are going to maybe do some sort of janky meetup. And
are you just going to have people meet you outside of the Palace in Auburn Hills and just try to recreate that riot?
No. That'd be fun. No, yeah, this is right downtown.
How far is the Palace of Auburn Hills from Ford Field?
Auburn Hills is basically Pontiac. Both Pontiac Silverdome and Auburn Hills are like a mile apart, and they both are. They used to not go anywhere downtown. It's about 30 minutes outside of Detroit or downtown Detroit. Now everything's moved back downtown. It's starting to rebuild and actually turn into a proper city again. So,
well, that's awesome. Taking a look at the stats here. Ferguson, 52 of 143. He's 44 of those 52 strikes were significant strikes. Bobby Green landed 126 of 205 strikes. Jesus. All of those were significant strikes. Green controlled 325 of the fight. Ferguson had no control after the first round, where he only had 13 seconds of control. And feels like the end of the road for Tony Ferguson. Trey the Truth is in the audience. He's a rapper. I don't know who that is. Darren Williams, former Utah Jazz player who complained his way out of town and ended up a Brooklyn Net. Kelvin Gastelum in the crowd. Uriah Faber in the audience. And Bobby Green making that walk to the octagon. But
didn't the guy that pretty much caused COVID in the U.S. play for the Utah Jazz?
Rudy Gobert, yeah. I mentioned him earlier in a large sandwich. Taking a look at the Super Chat, Raiden Thacker donating $19.99 to the cause and straight cash, homie system. And thanks again for the $20, Raiden. You rule. Stephen Caruso saying that we're the best fight companion out there. And I wholeheartedly agree. If you have friends that like MMA and don't like spending $80 on pay-per-views, copy and paste this link, text it to them. Tell them to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Because every time we go live, whether it's with my show or anything here on the network, when we go live, you'll know about it. So you'll be able to join us. And also you'll join us for every UFC pay-per-view, unless there's a Catalyst Wrestling show. And it seems like there won't be any Catalyst Wrestling shows on UFC cards for the little day. Braden Thacker, followed the rules. Donated $20 to the cause. And by that means I get to sing a song of his choice. And it's I'm a little teapot. So Stanley Franklin admitting to the pick.
Interesting choice. All right.
Let me get into the zone. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle. Here's my spout. I don't remember something else. Blah blah blah. Things come out. I'm 34, and like my short memory is.
You lost me after I'm a little teapot.
Watching myself back in the chat is hilarious. But the next time we'll be with you is for UFC 292. Sean O'Malley gets a title shot for some reason, and he'll be facing Aljamain Sterling in the main event of that card. That will be a very interesting fight in the main event. See who comes out of there with the victory. Last time we saw Aljamain, he was whooping Henry Cejudo's ass. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I believe that is August 19th, right here on the Mat Men YouTube channel. And we're having fun tonight. We're 2 fights in. We got 3 fights left to go. It's 11 o'clock, and we are at the midway point. So I am a happy boy. I don't know about y'all, but Sean O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling going down in the Boston Garden. That will end well. That's not going to be something that could end up in a Malice in the Palace situation. No, not at all. But it will be interesting to see O'Malley in a title fight situation, how that ends up, what that goes. Why did Sean O'Malley show up in the Michael Jackson Beat It jacket or the Weird Al Eat It jacket, no matter however you slice it? And young Ed saying O'Malley's first real fight, not a chance, all hype. It's hard. It's hard for me to disagree with that. Like, O'Malley's beaten some dudes. He's gotten some wins, but this is a level up. And this undercard is interesting. Cody Garbrandt returns against Mario Batista. Marlon Vera takes on Pedro Munoz. Jeff Neal taking on Ian Gary. The co-main event will be Amanda Lemos facing the women's strawweight champion Zhang Weili. And that will be Saturday, August 19th. And that will be right here on the Mat Men YouTube channel. Start time around 10:10 Eastern Standard Time before the first fight steps inside the octagon. Starting a little later just because we got stuff going on. But fights going on every week in August for the UFC, but the only time you'll be able to catch us. Wait, Max Holloway and the Korean Zombies, a fight night card? Are you fucking kidding me? That's not a fight on a pay-per-view? That's not what? Bill Elder's got to sleep. But Bill Elder, thank you so much, buddy. We'll just catch the show tomorrow. Watch the rest of it tomorrow. And they're showing the nightlife of Salt Lake City, supported by the Utah. Oh, propaganda. They have sushi in Utah? Huh. You'll learn something new every day. I'm Matt Ryan, MG Geeks in my ear and yours. We're here for the remainder of the UFC pay-per-view. And Derrick Lewis tied at the
my
top
favorite
leaderboard
guy
in most knockouts in UFC history. He did go to distance with Peter Yan. It's been a long day.
When he hit that line, balls is hot, he became my all-time favorite.
Yeah, no, he's a cult hero. He saved people during the hurricane a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
in
that's
Houston.
right. Wasn't he like in a boat, like pulling people out?
Yeah. And he's a plus 180 underdog, but every arena he walks into, he comes in like the favorite. Marcos Rogerio de Lima is the favorite walking into this fight. But much like UMG, I have a soft spot in my heart for Derrick Lewis. I got to see him inside the Madison Square Garden fight for a world title. So can't really say anything negatively
Stipe?
about it.
Was that against Stipe or?
No, it was against Cormier.
Cormier, okay.
It was Cormier's first defense after beating Stipe.
Mm-hmm.
And Derrick Lewis has concrete and gunpowder in those hands.
Oh, and he hits you. He's got one of those heavy punches.
Yeah. Mm. And De Lima can beat you with his hands. He can make you submit. He's been around for a minute.
I always wonder with those heavyweights, if they hit you, the normal person, if they hit a normal person, do they just snap your jaw immediately?
It honestly depends. It's possible. I know it would suck.
I mean, some of these guys. I mean, these guys are so much power. If you don't train for it, I just feel like some
Oh,
of these
yeah.
guys could snap jaws and instantly.
Oh, more than likely. Yeah. Young Ed putting $1,000 on Aljamain Sterling. That's not a bad bet. And Thacker calling him a heavy favorite. I don't disagree. He's going to be a heavy favorite heading into that fight, and I think with good reason. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, at Matt Ryan Yells, it's Matt Ryan Yells on Twitter. Come say hi. Come hang out. Let's do some stuff. You can follow MG at 2FightForever. That's 2FightForever on the Twitter. A shout out to That Is Correct on Twitter saying they love these. Well, I love that you guys love this. It's very nice. Appreciate
also,
that.
Also, make sure you follow the podcast at Men Podcast.
Yeah, do that
too.
That way
you get, because that way also you'll get notifications of other stuff we're doing too, and I usually try to update it when these go live or if there's any changes.
I respect that. Do I respect you? I don't know, but I respect that. Marcos Rogerio of the Lima won 4 of his last 5 fights. He's got the 6th highest significant strike accuracy in division history at 59.5. 3rd most ground strikes in a heavyweight fight with 161 in one fight on the ground. How is that 3rd? How the fuck is that 3rd? That's an insane amount. That's like 45 ground strikes per round? Holy shit. That seems like an unfair number to me. Does that see that's 3rd? And Derrick Lewis making his way out to the octagon. I am interested in seeing how this shit goes. Let us know in the chat what you predict, what you think is this, what is going to happen. What is this? Is this a fucking Faith No More song?
These are Lewis, big boys, man.
These are large humans. It'll be interesting one day if they ever introduce a super heavyweight class.
I was wondering if that would ever happen. Or if they do like a super lightweight or light heavy, where they go to 205. They go from 205 to like 245, and then go up to like 315 for a super heavy. I
feel like that would be a bit much. I think the way you would do it is 205, 225, 250.
Okay. Or just keep 265.
265 would work too.
Yeah. But not go above that. You go up too high, and because some of these guys might end up being a little unhealthy going, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And Rain Tracker, yes, the song is called Epic. Good catch. Lewis staring down the Lima.
I'm getting up for a minute, Matt.
Have fun. It's going to be interesting to see how this fight susses out. Everybody who's an MMA fan, in my opinion, is a bit of a Derrick Lewis fan just because of how charismatic he is. Both fighters are 38. Lewis 6'3", 263.5, 79-inch reach. He's got the height, weight, and reach advantage ever so slightly over De Lima, who's 6'1", 262 pounds, and 75-inch reach. So that reach may come in handy for Derrick Lewis, who may try to keep De Lima outside because he can take him down. And Lewis's ground skills are not proficient, especially going up against a guy like De Lima, who has gotten 3 submission wins to the 1 by Derrick Lewis. That's not a lot, but it's he's willing to go for the takedown, and we saw the ground strikes before, 161 in one fight. 3rd all time. So it will be interesting to see how that susses out for Lewis, who will try to keep this fight standing. Drop your predictions in the chat. There are Brazilians in Utah. Yet again, you learn something new every day. And Kelleher predicting Aljamain Sterling in round number 1. That'll be interesting. I want to apologize again for missing 290, guys. I'm sorry. But I'm glad to be back here with you for 291. Derrick Lewis throwing up the horns as the man who made his life in New Orleans and then had to start all over in Houston, Texas, in the home for chopped and screwed music. Looking to chop and screw the Lima as some man does a shoey, looking like me with worse life choices, and Dan Margaliata will be the official. A new Octagon human, one that I've never met before or seen before. I don't think I've met any of them. But Lewis standing resolved. And both men will stand in the octagon. And Derrick Lewis with a running knee has taken down De Lima. And he's throwing shots at De Lima. He's throwing hammer fists as De Lima locks the leg. What the fuck just happened? Derrick Lewis charging in and now throwing thunderous strikes onto De Lima, and it looks like De Lima may in fact be bleeding. De Lima now on his back. Luther Campbell position for Derrick Lewis as he is raining blows, preponderance of blows with impunity here, and it's over in 20
my God.
seconds. Derrick Lewis with a UFC 4 EA style offense runs in, hits the flying knee, and stops De Lima, and he takes his fucking pants off, and he does a DX crotch chop. What the fuck just happened?
This guy's awesome.
What
Give
the
him all
fuck?
the titles.
What
Give
the
him
fuck?
all the
What
titles.
the fuck? What in the actual fuck just happened?
Balls is hot.
Shouldn't have done it. That shouldn't have happened. That's not how this works. That's now I think he's doing the shmoney dance.
This guy, other people are just leading
What
this up,
the
man.
PJ Simpson, long time, donating $20 to the cause.
Oh,
Was that
my God.
with the shoe in? Let me know, PJ, what song you want me to sing. But that happened in 32 seconds. We'll run it through again. The fight starts. He trots into a bicycle knee that gets De Lima off his center of gravity. And at that point, just Derrick Lewis is throwing as many hammer fists and as many punches as humanly possible. Just caught him, De Lima, right in the mouth with that knee. Just ran right in and clocked the shit out of him. And then just threw right hands, never-ending rights, and then a few lefts to stop the fight. De Lima never had a chance. He couldn't get off the blocks, and then the Luther Campbell position to assert dominance. He might have to spend the night in a Utah jail for that, but he will be walking out with the win and probably a big bonus as this fight ends in 32 seconds. Derrick Lewis, good Lord, goddamn.
Oh, that knee was killer. Wow. The best part, so I can hear the audio a little bit. I have it up enough so I can hear it. The announcers are cracking up at him. Just losing their minds.
Derrick Lewis has his gloves and he is throwing them into the crowd. De Lima looking dejected. That's got to be heartbreaking.
I'm a little behind you, but I'll let you know if Derrick says anything interesting in his interview.
In 32 seconds, Derrick Lewis gets the stoppage victory. I got to see if it's listed as a KO or a TKO. But
I think it was a KO.
Damn. And an update on our poll. 57% agree that does Bruce Buffer give fighting spirit, and that will be by knockout. His 22nd win by knockout.
TKO.
Although listed as a TKO, but
yeah.
Holy
what
shit.
Bruce just announced.
Derrick Lewis with one of the weirdest knockouts. Virginia Valley with a good setup there. If he says anything, you mean when?
He just said the best answer. So Rogan just had some he planned on opening with that knee, and he said, "Hell no."
He didn't plan that. He just did that.
He just did it.
I'm astonished. Like, how? Someone on Twitter said that's $50K if I've ever seen it. Yeah. Just the Randy Orton pose into taking his pants off and then just DX crotch chopping for no actual functional reason.
They're showing him the replay now, and he's just like, he's so casual.
I whooped his ass. And Derrick Lewis dancing inside the octagon. That might be the best performance inside the Delta Center since Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals. Because now that is how you set a record. With that, Derrick Lewis has now gotten the 14th knockout, the record-making knockout, passing Matt Brown. God damn. Also, if you don't put
this is a guy that could cross over. I could see him doing some WWE for sure.
Leanne Rimes is there for reasons. Misha Tate is there. Keep your eyes on that.
Rumor about her. Yep.
Jorge Masvidal there. Not moving boxes. He will be handing the title to the winner of tonight's main event. And thank you, Toker88. Yeah, that was my best call in 7 days. Shout out to the thick dude in Alex Pajea's camp with the bleach blonde hair. That is a look. And it is 11:24, and we are at our co-main event, folks. We are at our co-main event.
They're gonna drag it out, aren't they?
Alex Pajea. What was that?
They're gonna drag it out, aren't they?
I don't think so. I think the frenetic pace is kind of great. And there's Jan Blachowicz. 4th most fight time in UFC lightweight history. 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 56 seconds spent inside the octagon. I'm still trying to reconcile. Yeah, Toker88 saying that stat really says something. People dismiss Derrick, but his record is that makes him a UFC Hall of Famer, in my opinion. If you hold the knockout record in a sport known for knockouts, sweet biscuit making god.
He's a beautiful man. Let's just say it. I have a man crush on Derrick Lewis.
I can see that. Y'all take walks on the National Mall together, get Popeyes together because he was a Popeyes mascot.
Oh my God.
And they're showing highlights of Alex Pajea beating up Israel Adesanya, former world champion here. going up against another former world champion, but this time it's in Blachowicz's domain at 205 pounds. And Virginia Valley makes a good point, but that's not how UFC does things. UFC does things in a frighteningly slow pace because they hate us, and also they probably
there's something about not starting the main event before midnight that I don't understand, but
I think a lot of it has to do with ad commitments. A lot of it because in other parts of the world, UFC fights air on cable or regular TV, so there are spot sets.
Right.
A lot of that also probably has to do with just timing things between fights, making sure they need to clean the canvas. It could be athletic commission bullshit. It could just be letting people in the house get, booze, food, buy crypto, whatever the fuck people do. But wild times in the big city tonight.
Fun fact, I used to work for a company that was based in Utah.
Oh?
That was interesting.
You selling Mormon brides?
Yeah. No, I did a help desk for this company. It was based in Utah, and it was all remote work. And they were what you would think they would be. They all were Mormons. They all had a very specific way they approached life when they talk to you and stuff. I'm like, man.
And now you work with my godless ass.
Yes.
Ain't that a bitch?
Well, I work with Zarian too, so it's all downhill.
He's pretty.
It's all downhill. Yeah. That's it. That's all he is. He's pretty.
I'd say he's more than that, but I'm Matt Ryan, in my ears MG Geek. It's the co-main event. We are in the video package for Alex Pereira, Jan Blachowicz.
Actually, a little bit of a plug. I want to plug something real quick here. I don't have the link for it, but if you go to the ad-free show YouTube channel or the 83 Weeks YouTube channel, Andrew Zarian, our very own Kinda Boss, was on with Eric Bischoff and John Elba yesterday, and it was a very cool and very interesting conversation about media and mostly wrestling, but how the landscape of media is changing. It's a good conversation. You guys might enjoy it if you're into like financial, sports, business, media stuff. It's pretty neat.
If you're a nerd like us, go do that.
If you're not, well, just erase the last 30 seconds from your head.
Oh, fuck you. How about that? Fuck you. But I'm excited to be here with you guys. I told the story about the running thing, Matt, and above me here, I have them tied to my set, but I have cleats now. I have actual football cleats.
Yes, you actually laced up cleats and everything. Wow. Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
If you look it up, we could play it here on the show if we want to show me running. In between this and the co-main event, we don't have to. But we are getting closer to the co-main event. Thanks to everybody who's joining us.
You said it's on the
tonight.
AFL?
A7FL.
I'll see if I can find it.
A7FL, not AFL.
I apologize. I
say it wrong one more time. I'm throwing hot coffee at your dick. Feel like that would be a cyborg Vince punishment.
There it is.
Goddamn. Also, if you donate $15, I will cut a Vince McMahon promo or a Dusty Rhodes promo on anything you want, within reason. And I like how they're making the entrances now a little more cinematic and interesting with the backshot cameras.
Yeah, that's one I noticed last time too.
That says UFC 291. Shit, it's like they're in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Telling you, they're being influenced. I don't know if there's any direction, but I feel like they're just taking, like, they're preparing for it, just doing it on their own before the direction comes down.
I do like the minimal. I do like things like that. Minimal staging makes sense. They sell the seats, so they really don't need to do a shit ton of entrance sets or things like that. But having some stylistic components does work really well for the UFC. They're the top brand in combat sports, and for them to not have some semblance of pageantry. And how the fuck is Adam? There's a tall, young Adam Silver there that I think works for the athletic commission. I don't know. Either that or he's one of the aliens from the diner scene where they eat pierogies in Men in Black. Young Ed asking, how much to shave my head live? $2,000. $2,000 I'll shave my head. I'll shave my face clean off for $250. But it has to be one donation. In that case, the head shave was 100, right? Rain Thracker says, what was it? I forget the numbers. It wasn't 2,000. It was something more sensible. But I am also deathly afraid of shaving my head.
Yeah, I did it. Ben there did that.
Young Ed saying 1,000. If you get $1,000, if you give me $1,000, I'll shave. Fine, $1,000. I'll shave my head for $1,000. If someone has $1,000 they want to give me to shave my head, I will shave my head right here on the show. Jan Blachowicz making his walk to the octagon. Then I got to walk around in August with a shaved head. That's just mean, I think, at that point. But I am off season, and I don't have to be on camera.
Matt, do you know the title of that video that has it in there?
I'll just text it to you.
Okay.
Well, what do you guys think is a fair amount of money for me to shave my head? I'll democratize it a little bit, but it is very warm out, and I honestly forget how much.
It's got to be.
What are you going to say, man?
I mean, be reasonable. Don't say $1.
Yeah. Just texted it to you.
Okay. I think I actually found it as you said that.
People suggesting $350. Derrick Spino saying, not the locks, man, not worth it. Fair point. My hair is a lot. My hair and my facial hair is a big part of my identity, weirdly. Blachowicz and Pereira, it's a pick'em at -110 in our co-main event, which is taking place at 11:34 Eastern Standard Time, and I'm so happy. I'm so damn happy.
I'm still happy Derrick Lewis won.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Blachowicz 40, Pereira 36, 6'4" to 6'2". Pereira with the half-pound advantage, 205.5, and a slight reach advantage, 79 inches to 78. And young Ed said, you know what? If you do four donations of $250, I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Alert the boss, by the way, Matt, that this might be happening.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Steven Carosa is saying, put the shave off. I would require a body shave for anything over $20. I want to be smooth. It just be so unseemly. I'm 34. If I'm completely hairless at 34 with my body, it just kind of just looks like sad pinkish fluff. Like marshmallow fluff. No one needs that. But it would be a rack. Also, I'm keeping all that money. Any of that money goes to fancy shoes or hair gel, I'm fist fighting somebody.
We'll have to correct him on that for sure. I got you. I will have you on that for sure. Any physical harm that generates money or physical changes.
Braden Thacker is willing to donate $250 towards this. He just needs 3 more people. I don't know what's a riskier venture, giving me $1,000 or betting 20 grand on Jan Blachowicz. Young Ed is also in, so we're halfway there. We are halfway towards our goal of me shaving my head. Y'all gonna be paying my rent this month. And here we go with round number 1. Pereira and Blachowicz. Standing up, Blachowicz going for a single leg. And Pereira getting a guillotine. He's got a standing guillotine, and Blachowicz trying to do the takedown of Pereira, now trying to chop the leg of Jan Blachowicz. He is punching the thigh as he holds on to the vice around the neck, and Blachowicz trying to pull his neck out, and he can't. Blachowicz in trouble. Standing guillotine by Pereira. Blachowicz trying to get out. It's 4:20 left in the round, and Pereira might be blazing Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz trying to get the takedown. Holding on to it for dear life is Pereira. He's still holding on to that neck, trying to do a DDT or traditional suplex position, but he has locked it in a variation of a choke, just trying to lock it in there, a bulldog choke by Pereira, trying to end this fight. Blachowicz has been inside the loving arms of Alex Pereira for nearly 40 seconds now. Now punching at the ribs. All right, if you do 750, I'll do 750.
Don't bargain. Don't bargain.
Rent money's rent money, brother. 3:30 left to go. For $12.50, I'll shave my beard and my hair. I'll be clean shaven. You'll get to see me in the month looking like a goof. Rolls through into a cradle.
You know what's going to be upsetting? You know, Stephanie's going to be pissed if we have to do this here. She's not here.
I have like a bib and shit. Have to explain cleaning all this in the morning. Stanley Franklin down to dropping 50 for the cause. And now Blachowicz has the back of Pereira, and now he's trying to lock in a rear naked choke. He is on the back of Pereira, trying to lock in the RNC. We see he does not have the arm underneath the throat or underneath the chin where it needs to be. But Blachowicz turning the tide here now, trying to control the pace of this fight. Now still leaning on the back in a T-bone position is Pereira, wearing another 205-pound man as if he were a backpack. I will not be shaving my eyebrows. Fuck that. Fair suggestion, Stephen, but I can't do that. That would be too far. I have meetings and things. I have to be around people. Under 2 minutes now. Blachowicz climbing up Pereira. Pereira cannot get up to a vertical base with another 205 pounds on him. Blachowicz he can't hit him from behind. He's trying to hit him from the side of the head. He lifted up to do a hammer fist, but had to change direction. He definitely had to give a think on that one. 91 seconds left to go in the round. On top now, Blachowicz still exactly where he was. On the back of Alex Pereira. Trying to slip in an RNC is Pereira. Trying to do anything to stop and stifle see them pressed up against the fence. 1 minute left to go in the round. Pereira exhausted here after having another human on his back for the better part of 2 to 2.5 minutes. Goddard, the referee. Blachowicz trying to get in the RNC. Cannot get it completely locked in. But he has his entire body weight onto the middle of Alex Pereira's back. The former middleweight champion of the world in trouble here. Started this fight looking like he was going to finish the former light heavyweight champion early, and now going for another submission attempt. This is his third of the round, let alone the fight, and Pereira still in trouble here and trying not to concede. He needs 16 more seconds to hold on here. We've seen surprising victories in the opening round. We have seen some chaos in this night, and we will go to the second round for only the second time on the main card as Alex Pereira holds on after carrying, literally, physically carrying Jan Blachowicz on his back for the better part of round one. If you're just joining us, we're about $200 away from me shaving my head if all the donations come through. I'm Matt Ryan. You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ryan Yells. You can follow my producer tonight, MG Geek, at 2Fight4Ever on Twitter. And you can follow us at Matt Men Podcast on all your favorite social medias and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Stephen Keller asking who was strong. Pereira is strong as shit because he kept Jan on his back for 2.5 minutes. But the persistence of the former light heavyweight champion was there in trying to find ways to just wear down the other former champion in this fight.
So just to kind of clear things up, there's only been one round or one that's gone all the way to the finish or to the end.
Yeah.
One decision on all the cards, including
the
prelims. Yes, that is the prelims. Every card on the main so far has been finished.
No, there was a fight that went. Oh, right, Ferguson tapped out in the third.
Yeah, he almost made it. But he tapped out at the very end. So there has literally been one fight on the entire card, including the prelims, and that was, I can tell you which it was.
Pereira and Blachowicz now fighting.
Unanimous
30
decision.
seconds.
CJ Vergara.
Over 30 seconds gone by. Round 2 of 3. One more fight left to go. Gaethje and Poirier. That'll be for the BMF belt. After that fight, I'm going to bed with or without my hair. Left hands exchanged by both fighters. Did you let the boss know?
I haven't. Do you want me to, just in case?
Yes.
All right. Don't worry, it will be recorded. There will be evidence that this happened.
Kick to the ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Get back at all those people who said I wear a wig. Chopping down the ankle was Pereira before he gets a couple of left hands. And both guys rock him, sock him with left and rights in the uppercut way. 3:17 left to go. Blachowicz with the takedown. Pereira on his back. Kicks into the sides of Jan Blachowicz. Pereira unranked at 205 pounds. A former champion at 180. 185, pardon me. Trying to posture up is the former light heavyweight champion, Pereira, the Brazilian, trying to hold Blachowicz in place. Dangerous gambit here for Jan. 2:39 left to go. Left hands trying to posture up is Blachowicz, and now holding on to the neck of Pereira. 2:30 left to go in round number 2. Pressing into the chest is Blachowicz, and Pereira trying to find a way to get back up to a vertical base. Punches Blachowicz in the rib cage. The over-under is over 1.5 rounds, and right now it looks like that prop will hit. It has been over 1.5 rounds. That was minus 150. The under was plus 120. And we almost got that in round number 1. Pereira pressed up against the octagon wall. Needed a midsection, then a right hand by the Polish fighter. Minute 42 now, needed a body. One more needed a body by Pereira. 91 seconds left to go in round number 2. On a card where there's only been one scorecard gone to. Will we see another fight make it to the 3rd round? We've only seen one on the main card, and Tony Ferguson got choked out in the waning moments of that fight. Pereira with a head kick that grazes with the toenails, acted more like a pedicure for Pereira than a head kick on the Blachowicz. 1:05 left to go. Right hand from Pereira. Left to the body, missed by Blachowicz. Try to catch him with the left if Pereira does not land. Trying to go for the takedown again, Blachowicz does not grab it. 50 seconds now left to go in the round. Kick to the ankle by Pereira. Right hand followed up by a left uppercut. Pressed up against the fence was Blachowicz. Pereira with a knee to the body. Another knee by Blachowicz. Uppercuts from both fighters. Pereira landing 3 straight shots. A little bit of raspberry jam on the bridge of the nose of the former light heavyweight champion, Jan Blachowicz. He eats an uppercut, then a jab from Pereira. 17 seconds, another uppercut from Pereira. Pereira teeing off with a left hook. Shot to the body. Blachowicz comes out with a left hand of his own. 10 seconds left to go in the round now. Right hand. Again, that will be the end of the round. Blachowicz was trying to sneak a last-second takedown, and you could see the former champion frustrated on the walk to the corner, or what we'd consider to be the corner, even though an octagon is round. They have points, but it's technically a corner. I don't know how the fuck that works.
Wow. Nice ending. Are they this is a 3-round fight, right? Even though it's a co-main?
Yeah. 3-round fight.
There you go. There's your stats. If you want to take a look where we're at.
Right now, let's green at Ferguson, bud.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, it didn't update. I'll fix it. Go back to you.
Thank you.
Mm.
I'm Matt Ryan. You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ryan Yells if you want me to shave my head. The person to contact is Raiden Thacker. So he's $200 away from watching me shave my head here on the stream. I am a professional broadcaster, but I like money. Round number 3, Blachowicz and Pereira stand in the center of the octagon. Ankle kick by the Brazilian, followed up by one by the former light heavyweight champion. Sharp head kick attempt. Tried to aim at the pectoral muscle, pardon me. Pereira not landing it, checked by the arms of Jan Blachowicz. Stepping inside with a left hand is Blachowicz. Another left hand followed by a left uppercut by Pereira. 43.30 above sea level, 4,330 feet above sea level is Salt Lake City, Utah. And pass the hat, Stanley, pass the hat, because I'm going to have to be wearing a lot of hats if I shave my head. Dome has not been bald or had a short haircut in 20 years. Blachowicz with left hands and then a kick to the body. 4:11 left to go. This fight between two great fighters has shown their inconsistencies, but right now it's still a toss-up. Minus 110 across the board. I don't think either of these guys want this to go to the judges. This could end up in a tie and in a draw. And Jamal Hill on Twitter saying if Jan doesn't get the takedown, he's finished. Aljamain Sterling also has it 1 round apiece. Bahia coming on strong. Bilal Muhammad also going on that as well. And yeah, next show, if we raise the money by next show, you could do that. I'll shave my head next show if we get a donation of $7.50 to a grand at the start of the next show.
There's being a formulation of a plan.
A consolidation of funds.
Yes, there's being an effort, a coordinated effort planned out for the demise of your hair.
In the chat, or is there an external one? Left-right combination by Blachowicz?
No, it's just right here. Just in the chat.
Okay.
We got Young Ed kind of leading the way here.
Is there a cabal going on? 3 minutes left to go in round number 3. Bahia missing with a left-right combination. Blachowicz looking tired here. Both men a little gassed. Can understandably so after the grind both of these guys have gone through. Right hand by Bahia to the head of Blachowicz. And he throws another left hand right into the midsection of the former light heavyweight champion. Blachowicz with 2:37 left to go. May need to close the show here. Left hand thrown by Blachowicz to Bahia. Takedown attempt by Jan Blachowicz. Cannot get it. Needed a body. And they'll fight out of it and get back to the center of the octagon, followed up by an ankle kick by Bahia. Left hand blocked by Bahia to the head by Blachowicz. Left hand from Blachowicz that time lands. 2:12 left to go. Left, right, uppercut. And yeah, right now it's an even fight, but I think Alex Bahia might be winning this round and might walk out of here with the win. Both of these guys don't want to leave it up to the judges. They've only been at the cards once so far tonight. Will we see it a second time? We're a minute 51 away from finding that out. Left-right combination, missed by Blachowicz. Kick to the ankle as we get closer to midnight Eastern. Left hand thrown by Bahia, lands another one. Blachowicz nodding at him, saying, come on, bring it on. Minute 25 left to go in this battle at 205 pounds. Left hand thrown right at the jaw of Bahia. Blachowicz looking for something here with a minute 15 left to go. Ankle kick by Bahia. Left hand thrown by Bahia. Blachowicz looking tired with a minute 10 left to go. Landing another shot. Did the former middleweight champion right to the midsection of Jan Blachowicz. Left-right combination. Missed by the former light heavyweight champion. Blachowicz trying to go for another takedown. Eats a knee to the body, but throws a left hand to get out of the clinch. As the Polish star waning here with 50 seconds left to go. Kick to the ankle of Bahia. And Blachowicz gets the takedown, picks the ankle, and now on top of Bahia, who is kicking at the hips of Jan Blachowicz. 35 seconds left to go in the fight. 30 seconds and counting now as we get to the bottom of this fight near the 30th anniversary of the UFC. Trying to posture up is Jan Blachowicz. Utilizing his hips greatly is Alex Bahia. Bahia maybe trying to climb up the body with 15 seconds or just a jockey for position to keep Blachowicz where he is and try to peel the former light heavyweight champion off him. 7 seconds now left in the fight. Punch to the midsection by Blachowicz. Trying to pop up is the former light heavyweight champion. And for the second time tonight, we will go to the scorecards in Salt Lake City. Stanley Franklin undefeated on the scorecard, trying to get Alex Bahia to get him the win. And we'll take a look at the replay. Some solid shots here. I think Alex gets the win over Blachowicz, but take a look at those stats. You may want to scroll up a little bit as that's Derrick Lewis and the Lima.
Yeah, I got to fix it.
Stats are not your friend tonight, bud.
No, they're not. They're not updating like they normally do for some odd reason.
They're doing
ESPN,
it on purpose. They don't
yes, ESPN. They don't like us. Usually they just set it and forget it, which makes it really beautiful.
Well, let's take a look at the stats. 60-39 in terms of significant strikes. Blachowicz with 3 takedowns landed. The ground control time, 5-13-0. 2 submission attempts for Blachowicz, 1 for Pereira. The significant strikes give the Brazilian the advantage, but the submission attempts and the ground control time, we might see a draw. I would not be surprised if we see a draw here tonight.
It was very even, wasn't it? It was very...
Yeah.
It was very vanilla, I guess is how I would describe that fight. There's your stats up there. And they are very similar. Except maybe control.
Yes, Blachowicz landing 76 of 108 total strikes. Pereira 96 of 125. In terms of significant strikes, it was 39 of 69. Nice. And Pereira 60 of 88. The control time was 7:32-6 with the submission attempts in there. And Alex Pereira getting the win. I guess those significant strikes came in handy. The Utah judges giving the Brazilian the win, and on camera now, Jan Blachowicz frustrated and shocked that he took the L here tonight, feeling like he might have gotten the win. I would have not been surprised if Jan got the win, but that third round certainly turned the tide for Pereira.
We look at that control time. That's significant, and that usually fades into the scoring a lot.
Stanley Franklin, how do you do a draw without a 10-8 round? I don't know. It's MMA. Weird shit happens all the time. Like I couldn't figure out who won all 3 of those rounds.
Just wait till Vince McMahon starts booking it.
Goddamn. You know what I used to do with athletic commissions? I would take them on a walk. You find me the commissioner. You find him. You send him over to my limousine. And before that, I will need several ring card girls. Because I need them to give
12-8 rounds.
Because you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do, Bruce? I'm going to put the athletic commissioner in a UFC ring card girl outfit. So they know that they're my little bitch. Because I'm Vince McMahon. I also went to public school, so I'm not smart.
It's fun.
Like
it's fun. I mean, Toker said it best here. How do you say his name? Or
there's been some crazy judges lately. Nothing would surprise me. Yeah. Also, these guys have only had to score 2 fights in full. So something wild, something wacky could have happened. And I want to know, do you guys think the right guy won the fight? Because I am not totally sure.
Mm-hmm.
So wrestling's been kind of crazy lately.
It has. Wrestling is fun now. It's picked up in the last few months, really. WWE is hot. Overseas is hot with New Japan. They're doing some good stuff, and AEW is plucking right along. Adding a second show, or I guess a third show.
Also, we didn't talk about this because we weren't here the last time. Fucking Francis Ngannou signed with the PFL, and now he's fighting Tyson Fury. What the fuck? Like
Who's he fighting?
That's a thing. Yeah, he's fighting Tyson Fury in Saudi in November.
Oh,
December?
I did know this. Okay, it didn't click. Who? Somehow my brain erased Tyson Fury theory for a good 30 seconds there.
Did you think he was Tyson Theory? Did you get confused?
Something happened there. Something bad happened. But
Stanley Franklin, 4-0 tonight. So good job by you, buddy. But it's time for the main event. and Walker Buehler, who's a pitcher for the Dodgers, who should be doing. Oh, and there's a guy. There's a guy getting booed. Good. Least favorite Bash at the Beach main eventer. And that's saying a lot.
You know, my favorite Dark Side of the Ring is going to be Tuesday, right?
Oh, yeah, the Bash at the Beach one. That's going to be...
I want to watch it. I'm so looking forward to that.
Dude, did you listen to the Laps fan breakdown of that? Of that whole saga?
I should go back and
If you're a fan of wrestling podcasts, or just wrestling in general, or really good Vince McMahon impressions, better impressions than me, the Laps fan gets my complete and total sign off. Those guys are fucking fantastic.
You've referenced those several times in the past and stuff we've done on the channel and otherwise. I will have to go back and listen to that. If I get time, I'll try to do it before Tuesday, because that is so fast. I remember watching that live and not having any freaking idea what the hell just happened. Like, this makes no sense. What is going on? It was so, because they left so many questions. That's before I was like hip to the business, or smartened up, as they say, as far as like how the business works. I remember just being completely discombobulated. Like, what the fuck just happened?
They must have got some amazing tax incentives, or the state of Utah paid for a piece of this show, because they have been running Utah Sports Commission promos at least 3 times and doing promos all evening for this fucking athletic commission. The parlay for this fight, Poirier on the money line that's minus 155, over 2.5 rounds, minus 120. Fight to end by knockout, 155. $100 would pay you 625. That's not bad scratch. But it is main event time, and I'm excited. Are you excited? Because you should be excited.
Bonus territory for me.
Yeah.
Derrick Lewis won.
It's time for 2 white dudes to fight for a belt. That's for the baddest motherfucker.
That doesn't mean shit. Well, it does, but it doesn't.
It is the FTW belt of mixed martial arts.
Fair enough.
Which is hilarious to me. Now, is it technically, like, Bruce Buffer can't call it the baddest motherfucker belt?
It's the BMF belt. They've actually branded it that.
Yeah. I really hate the look. I hate that it's just a silver version of that belt.
Yeah.
Of the UFC belt. Like, I don't like it. It has no real... It doesn't look like something 2 bad motherfuckers would want to own. Like, that, it doesn't look like something where... And I'm not asking for it to be like a fucking Cuban link dookie chain, but like, it doesn't feel prestigious. I guess these fights aren't about prestige, but if you are making a belt for the baddest man on the planet, I feel like there are a bunch of different ways they could have went with that belt, but it feels like they might have rushed it. And for some reason, they didn't do any upgrades or changes in the 4 years since that belt was initially fought for. Has yet to be defended.
You know what I think they should have? Is spikes on the inside. Like thumbtacks on the inside glued, so when you put it on, you're getting spiked. That's the baddest motherfucker to me.
What's wrong with you?
I'm a sick man.
Fucking duh. Make sure you don't own any pets.
If you're gonna be a baddest motherfucker, you got to be willing to inflict pain on yourself and tell people, yeah, I can wear this belt. Come get it.
It's the baddest motherfucker, not the best masochist. What's wrong with you? You're an
Hey,
odd
EMF.
boy.
It's open for interpretation. What can I say?
I guess.
It just came to me. I don't know. You're probably right.
There?
It probably should put the spikes on the other side and make it look a little more evil. I mean,
it doesn't have to look evil. It just has to look cool. I'm not
Okay.
asking for much here. I'm asking for effort.
Apparently, I am.
Like, you've put more thought. You and your insurance liability belt has had more thought put into it than the initial BMF belt.
Fair.
As a joke, when I was working in MMA Mania, I came up with a fake BMF belt, and it looked almost exactly like the belt we have now. Like, it's unfair. Like, it's unfairly similar. I try to send it to you. See if you can put it on the screen.
No, it's gonna take a second.
And it is main event time. And they have the House of Black lighting in the center of the octagon for some reason. It's either that or they have installed Windows Media Player, and they just got a giant visualizer from Windows Media Player playing throughout the venue. I guess that's the highest tech they have in Utah. They just got Windows XP.
Yes, you can only run Windows. You can't run Mac.
They just got iMovie there.
Mm.
Young Ed saying giant rodeo buckle. That would be cool. Or a giant cowboy boot like the Bunkhouse Stampede. Just like this, like a golden shoe that the winner's got to take a shoey out of, because that's bad motherfucker to me. And Justin Gaethje making his walk to the octagon. Last time we saw him was a decision win over Rafael Fiziev. Lost his 2 fights before that to Charles Oliveira and Khabib Nurmagomedov. So it's been a while since we've seen Gaethje inside the octagon with any consistency. It's his third fight since the loss to Khabib. For Dustin Poirier, coming off an RNC win over Michael Chandler, but lost to Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title, and then before that beat Conor McGregor twice for a variety of reasons, some of them injury-related. Gaethje shouting out his family. I think that's his mom and dad and other loved ones. Shit, now I want it to be a giant belt buckle.
Do you want to kind of throw that rumor out there and talk about it more, or do we want to leave it alone until we're sure?
I'm sure it's happening. I'm sure it's happening from who told me. Like, I have some sources who said this thing is in the works, but I don't want to go out and say exactly what it is. I just know that if it does happen, people aren't going to be as surprised, but people will be taken aback. And if you watch programming that is also owned by the same parent company as the UFC, you might see some tea leaves setting certain things
spell
up.
something out. Very, very soon, actually, I think, right? Okay, we'll leave it at that.
When is that?
So that is going to be the week before or after WrestleMania.
Shit.
It's going to fall in April. So that's the bugaboo that has to be worked out.
Yeah.
If I'm right, if I figured it out right. When I first heard this, I looked it up and kind of timed it out and said, "Oh, that could be interesting."
We're nine cards away from that. So it will be interesting.
People are probably mad.
Let's just say something
talking
that.
In tongues.
What was that?
I said people were probably mad we're talking in tongues. Let's just say it's something that's happened before. How's that?
Yeah. Something's getting run back allegedly. I just don't want to say it to put something out there that I trust the source. I don't trust the parties involved.
Fair enough. Especially after this. Once this merger goes through, maybe we'll have a little more tangible meat, and then we can talk freely about it in the next couple of these watch-alongs, for sure.
Yeah, like I don't want my reputation to become bad for something like that. And I don't want to denigrate, I don't want to denigrate the platform we're on and say something that may or may not be true. Like our reputation shouldn't be bad for that.
Right. And if you want to know what it is, if you watch the last episode of Matt Men Podcast, it is blatantly talked about as a rumor. So you can go back and watch that.
I didn't know you guys talked about it on the show. I didn't get a chance to listen to this.
Andrew did, but he's still not 100% sure. So it was kind of like, this is what I've heard.
I didn't even know that you guys heard that rumor. I was just assuming because we kind of had that level of telepathy.
Yeah, he talked about it because we were talking about SummerSlam, and this kind of led into something. I feel like we've just given people so many hints they might know what it is.
It shouldn't be hard to figure out if you're listening in closely. Especially with the hints I just dropped like a minute or two ago. But we focus on what's in front of us, and that's the main event for UFC 291. Bruce Buffer is not a Noki, but, the question had to be asked Joe Blair. Brendan Blaze, yes, I do look different when I'm not playing football. I lose about half a foot in height and about 40 pounds in weight. But I'm a better announcer somehow. I don't know how it's a weird thing. Dustin Poirier, former UFC interim lightweight champion, tied for the most knockouts in lightweight division history, tied for 5th most finishes in UFC history with 14. Looking to take the lightweight crown and get his 15th finish to move in the 4th place tonight against Justin Gaethje. I don't know, man. I like Poirier in this. I think the Louisianan's going to get it, but the way this card's gone tonight, who the fuck knows what might go down. But it is a battle for a belt that has as much value as the Sapphire Television Championship above my less, actually, even though the Sapphire TV title is technically defunct in Catalyst Wrestling. And you can get tickets for Catalyst Wrestling's return on September 24th by going to tinyurl.com/catalysttix. That's tinyurl.com/catalysttix. Toker88 going for Dustin. Let us know your predictions in the background. Toker88, but they're both badasses. That is true. Stanley Franklin, a dual wrestling MMA fact fiction sausage palooza. Look, guys, somebody who was around is coming back, maybe. And Joe Blair might have set that up. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, both 34. Gaethje with the height advantage and the weight advantage, 5'11" and 156. Poirier 5'9", 155. Poirier with the reach advantage, though, 72 inches to 70 inches. And Bruce Buffer for the final time tonight will get loud in that budget-in carpet jacket. I feel like he has to have the Athletic Commission of Utah approve his jackets, but I'm not entirely sure. The judges are Derrick Clearly, Junichiro Kimijimura. Every month I try to say the judges for the main event, and it's up for 2 seconds. It is the quickest graphic in television.
They don't want you to know, I think. Just in case one of them screws up terribly again, like it's happened before. What's that one judge?
On Gaethje's midsection is a choice.
Isn't there one judge that just like every time it's a lady, right? And every time she
Adelaide Bird.
Yep,
she was the judge in Canelo Triple G that gave the fight to Canelo.
Oh yeah, it's a boxing.
Well, Stephen Kelleher, that fight just can't happen. Can't have that kind of fight. It's ridiculous. Why is the American flag around the octagon? Is it because they're both American fighters?
I wonder why. What? You've been talking about it all night. What state are we in?
That's fair. But I've never seen them do that before. Raiden Thacker saying, bring Catalyst to Allentown. Get us a building? And if you could get us a building and can guarantee fans will show up, we'll consider going to Allentown. But I do think that Kevin Kelly runs a wrestling company out there and really don't want to cross one of my mentors and start a territory war.
There still are territories, right? People don't know that, I think, but there are.
In a sense, like each area,
they're smaller. They're
Yeah.
You guys are running areas.
Wrestling
right.
Yeah. And in New York, it's basically like borough and location of borough. Like Brooklyn,
right.
We control, like Catalyst Wrestling runs exclusively in South Brooklyn. Some other companies run in Jamaica, Queens, other parts of the city. Not a lot in Manhattan, but it is time for the main event. Poirier, a -150 favorite. He's 13-3 and won no contest as a UFC favorite. Stephen Kelleher, if you scroll up a little bit, someone might have actually told you, wrote in the chat what it might be. And there is Jorge Masvidal cheering it on as both men will make their way to the center of the octagon. Herb Dean is your referee. Oh, Hamburg. Oh, the Fieldhouse. I got my old WWF TV towns confused. Thank you, Joe Blair. And here we go.
Somebody did get it. Somebody did mention
somebody did get it. It's time to find out who the baddest motherfucker is. Round 1 of 5 in the BMF title main event is begun. Poirier throws the first punch, but misses. Gaethje misses with a left hand as well. Gaethje missing with a low kick, stands in the center of the octagon. Poirier hits one himself, kicks to the midsection by the Louisianan. Kick to the back of the thigh by Gaethje. Trying to create some pressure here with the left. Leading with the right hand is Poirier. Leg kick by Gaethje. Head kick attempt by Poirier does not land. 4:19 left to go in round 1. Gaethje with some solid rights and then coming inside with a left. Doesn't land cleanly. 4:09 left to go. Overhand with the left. 4 minutes. Battling back and forth. Raiden Thacker, DM us at Catalyst Wrestle on Instagram for more on that. Kick to the body, 350. Kick to the legs by Gaethje. Poirier straight legging for a second after that shot from the fellow former interim lightweight champion. 3:38 left to go in round number 1 of 5. Gaethje stepping inside, throws the overhand right, doesn't land. Left hand thrown by Poirier. Solid combinations from both fighters. Poirier getting the better of the exchange. Kick to the leg again by Gaethje, trying to chop down the tree. That is Poirier. 3:20 left to go in the round. Left hand thrown by Poirier. 3:16, what left to go in round number 1? Feigning the right, not landing. Kick to the body, though, landed by Gaethje. Right into the midsection. High kick blocked by Gaethje. Kick to the leg again by Gaethje. Feigning the knee to the body. Gaethje trying to bounce around here. 2:55 left to go in round number 1. Left, straight right, followed up by a left by Gaethje. He lands the right, does not land the left. Barely blocking the head kick was Poirier. 2:42 left to go in round number 1. Both men standing in the center of the octagon. Straight right thrown by Poirier. Batting down with the right hand. Feigning the punch to the body. Gaethje upstairs, downstairs, right, left. Lands the right, does not land the left. 2:24 uppercut thrown by Gaethje. Kick to the thigh by Gaethje. And they go into a flurry, both men landing rights to the face. Pardon me, a left by Gaethje, a right by Poirier, right to the jaw in succession. Another right hand landed by the Cajun. Tries to throw that left and gets tripped up in the canvas was Gaethje. Couldn't land cleanly, and he gets clipped with a left hand. 2 rights from Gaethje. A little bit of raspberry jam might be matriculating on the nose of Justin Gaethje. Poirier limping a little bit, but he throws a left hand, and he might have Gaethje in trouble. Gaethje throws a couple of lefts and rights. Poirier will get away. Left hand. Oh, and there's a cut underneath the nose and the eye of Justin Gaethje. He feels the blood, and that one, it may not stop the fight, but he knows that cut is there. It's a laceration right underneath the eyelid, in the well of the eye for Justin Gaethje, near the nose, and there might be a cut on the bridge of the nose as well. 1:10 left to go. It might be a cut above the eye on the side of the eyebrow as well. Gaethje got by Poirier, who is walking with a limp. That left leg might be in trouble. Both men wearing the scars early. Left-right combination by Gaethje with 52 seconds left to go. Right hand thrown by Gaethje. Poirier leading with that right hand. Left hand bear paw from Justin Gaethje. Head kick missed by Poirier. 33 seconds now left to go in the round. Kick to the ankle by Poirier. Stepping inside, trying to close the distance is Dustin Poirier. Gaethje feigning that right hand again, leading with the left head kick blocked by Poirier. 10 seconds left to go. Kick to the ankle by Gaethje. Kicking that outside foot as the left leg continues to drag for Dustin Poirier. Poirier lands a right hand, followed up by some wild shots from both fighters. They'll dap each other up as round 1 comes to an end. There's a fat baby in the studio, making her first appearance of the day. Hi, Olive. Don't sniff Ethernet cable. And after that round, I give it to Dustin Poirier. If you guys are watching along in the chat, let us know what you think, who you think is winning the fight. And be a part of the conversation in the chat. If you haven't donated to the super chat so far, please do. Every dollar amount helps, and some people want to raise money for me to shave my head. Contact Young Ed or Raiden Thacker for more information on that. But we are counting it down, and if you like the words I say, follow me on Twitter at Matt Ryan Yells. That is Matt Ryan Yells. You can follow MG Geek at 2Fight Forever on the Twitter machine. And Raiden Thacker's right. That is a running theme in these fights. Early cuts to the face, early action, freak injuries, things like that happen. Ooh, there's that left hand to the eye that caught the laceration and caught Gaethje. That opened up the eye. And Poirier ate some shots too, but we begin round number 2 of 5 with Gaethje's bleeding stop, but that left leg, that back leg dragging a little bit for Poirier. Right now, Poirier is a -145 favorite. Gaethje is a +125 underdog, according to DraftKings. Missing with the left and the right. Poirier following Gaethje. Leg kick. Trying to track and walk him down. Right-left combination from Gaethje not landing. Overhands. Not landing again from Gaethje. Poirier finding a way to evade. throwing that straight right. That right jab doesn't land. You can see that left leg of Poirier continuing to drag here, even though he controls the momentum of the fight. It's either that or just how his stance is, but it looks like there might be something wrong with that left leg. And Gaethje knocks out Poirier with a head kick. Head kick knockout. And he's the baddest motherfucker in the world in the moonsault. Justin Gaethje has knocked out Dustin Poirier in a second.
Wow.
He cleaned his fucking clock. Head kick knockout. Good night, Utah. Holy shit, that came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, Justin Gaethje with a murderous head kick. People have their reactions in the crowd. People are shaking hands. It looked like Poirier was controlling the fight, and Justin Gaethje has knocked Poirier. He is still on the canvas. He got reset like a 90s computer. Holy mother of fuck.
Herb Dean didn't hesitate. He launched himself on top.
He was there.
He knew. He just knew oh my God. Wow.
That man got knocked the fuck out.
What a quick card. Every match had a finish almost, except two. An entire night.
And to quote Joe Blair, the spirit of Crow Cop compels you. Left leg hospital, right leg cemetery. And Gaethje setting this up just out of nowhere with that right leg caught the back of the neck.
Oh,
just caught perfectly.
Evil, man.
Just out of nowhere, the ability to pivot and posture your leg to just do that on one leg. Just turn and bang.
Pop.
Let's see it one more time. Back and to the left goes the leg of Gaethje, just catching the reset button right underneath the chin, getting to the back of the neck. Just incredible, incredible timing by Justin Gaethje. A 1 in a million shot coming up and just setting it up, leading Poirier to go to his left. He forced Poirier to go to his left and set up that leg kick all in under 10 seconds. And maybe less than 5 seconds was set up, bang, it's over. And hitting the back
for the review, Herb Dean looked like he was very badly sliding into second base, but he just got himself in front of him.
Looked like Ricky Henderson towards the end. What a knockout.
Oh, my God.
And Poirier back up, meets him at the center of the octagon. Both men are dapping each other up.
You know what's crazy?
And we may have to have
Derrick Lewis's knockout is, this one.
And they're showing us Leon Edwards and Usman. It's the same setup too, but the different location. Edwards caught Usman right in the point of the jaw, right here. This caught Poirier right here, underneath the jawline. Just caught him here and kicked him back and just completely hit the reset button. What a kick. And no shame for Dustin Poirier. He was winning that fight. But a heartbreaking loss for him. And Justin Gaethje just said wow, and all I could say is wow too. Holy fuck, what a win. And that man now holds the BMF title. It's draped over his shoulder by Jorge Masvidal. And Gaethje gets a title that doesn't have interim in front of it. Hands it over to one of his coaches. Poirier and Gaethje dap each other up. Joe Blair asking, can you dap up a corpse? In theory, you can. Thank you, Stanley Franklin. Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Winner by knockout a minute into the second round. The BMF belt now belongs to Justin Gaethje. He is the BMF champion. And Young Ed saying, thanks, Matt. Bring your Clippers. The Clippers are in the cabin. I'll bring them anytime. Stephen Keller saying, great job, bro. Thank you, Stephen Keller. Thank you all. I think on that point, the interview don't matter. we can wrap this one up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight. Thank you so much for being a sweetie. Thank you so much for supporting us. Go to patreon.com/Danny White. That's patreon.com/Danny White if you want to support. Follow me on Twitter at Matt Ryan Yells. You can follow MG at 2Fight4Ever. You can also follow Stephanie Sotilli at Steph Sotilli. Be sure to follow Matt Men Podcast on every single social media platform. And also, be sure to follow, like, comment, and subscribe right here on YouTube so you know when we go live, whether it's the OG show or this one. And thank you, everyone. Steven Carasso, Toker88, thank you so much. Joe Blair, the reset button that only exists when your brain slams against your skull. Fair point. But for all of us here on the Matt Men YouTube channel, for all of us watching along at home, thank you so much for being a sweetie, and we will see you next time right here on the Matt Men Podcast YouTube channel. We'll see you back in August for UFC 292. O'Malley and Aljamain Sterling, baby. So long.